How is it going? I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you for tuning in this video. Today I'm here with my WWE Hell in a Cell 2020 paper review. Don't waste any time, let's go and dive right into things, which of course we did have the kickoff show 1 hour prior to the event, which featured an advertised 24/7 title defense, which we don't think we've ever gotten a pay-per-view before. So even though it's on the kickoff show, I thought, you know, at least it was different for them to do. So R-Truth defending his 24/7 championship against Drew Gulak on the kickoff show. The match was harmless. It was comedy stuff. You know, Drew Gulak played with little Jimmy. R-Truth, you know, channeled his inner John Cena and just, you know, did John Cena moves like the 5-knuckle shuffle. So this match was just a whole comedy bit. But you know what? Like I said, it was harmless and, you know, it was fun for what it was. R-Truth ended up getting the victory over Drew Gulak to retain the championship. So, like I said, harmless, fun match on the kickoff show. Then we go to the main pay-per-view, which opened up with the I Quit Hell in a Cell match for the Universal Championship. Universal Champion Roman Reigns defending against Jey Uso. These two continued right where they left off at Clash of Champions, man. Right from the get-go, Roman Reigns hitting some huge spears on Jey. You know, just, you know, talking trash to him, telling him that he's going to make him suffer, and he's going to make him wish he quit, you know, 10 to 15 minutes ago. So Roman Reigns is trash talking this game. I thought was spectacular. Jey Uso did a fantastic job of, you know, gaining sympathy from people. I thought, you know, he's able to play that role very well, at least against Roman Reigns, I think. So he did a great job, I thought. And, you know, moments where Jey Uso finally, you know, were able to fight back. You know, a strap got involved by Roman Reigns, and Jey Uso actually ended up turning that around on Roman Reigns, and I'm just whipping the shit out of Roman Reigns, hitting, you know, a numerous amount of Samoan splashes on the Roman. The referee's asking if he wants to quit. Roman's just sitting there saying that, you know, he's the tribal chief, that he's got to prove to people that he's a leader. He's got to make them acknowledge that he's a tribal chief. So Roman Reigns' only focus was to get the acknowledgement. And I thought that was fantastic character work from him on his part. So in terms of a story, this was incredible. I thought both men worked very well. Roman is pleading. The one complaint I have, and it's not Roman Reigns or Jey Uso's fault, it's a fucking referee. Every 5 seconds, do you want to quit? It literally got to the point where he's literally telling Jey, just quit, it'll be over, just quit, just quit, just quit. What kind of referee literally pleads for the person just to quit? Like, aren't you supposed to call it down the middle? Why are you pleading for the person to quit? Then, of course, it gets to the point where they want to recreate last year where the referee's sitting there saying, all right, Roman, I'm going to call it off. He can't defend himself. He's out, you know, whatever. So he's threatening to call it off. Roman pretty much gets in his face, says, you're not calling this shit off until he quits. And the referee cowers, so he starts beating the shit out of Jey Uso some more. You know, some officials come out, they try and, you know, stop Roman. Roman puts Jey's head into the post. He puts a freaking steps right between, right in front of his head, and does the drive-by kick right into the steps, into the post, to his head. Just insane stuff. Roman's making him pay. He's beating the shit out of Jey at this point. And then Jimmy comes running out to, you know, tell Roman that, hey, man, this is over. You're the tribal chief. You know, what are you doing? Whatever you're going through, we can work this out together. Roman looks like he's about to break down the tears. You know, Roman is kind of looking like he's kind of like questioning, like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And all of a sudden, he puts Jimmy Uso in the guillotine, puts him in it. He's, you know, pleading for his life, and then Jey's like, hey, man, just knock it off, leave him alone. You know what, fine, I quit. You win, I quit, let him go, let him be. So Jey Uso quits the Roman Reigns. Like I said, fantastic storytelling. These two went out there and told a phenomenal story. I thought it was fantastic. It was even better was, you know, Roman Reigns afterwards, you know, saying that he's tribal chief. I love you guys. You know, it was all nothing personal. It was all just for the family. And then the icing on the cake was Roman on the stage, Alpha and Sika both coming out to acknowledge him as a tribal chief. Man, that's excellent storytelling if you ask me. So yeah, that was an incredible opener. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, loved absolutely every second of it. From there we go to Jeff Hardy taking on Elias, which wasn't really much of a match. A lot of holds and holds from Elias from the get-go, putting Jeff Hardy in, you know, in wrist locks, headlocks, pretty much anything to isolate Jeff down. Jeff would have his comebacks, end up missing a poetry in motion on the outside to allow Elias to get the upper hand. They trade some blows. Jeff tries to go for a swanton onto the apron, but, you know, Elias gets out of the way. They brought him to the outside where Elias tries to get his chair, or not his chair, his guitar, to hit Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy ends up hitting Elias with it instead. So Elias gets the DQ victory over Jeff Hardy. I don't know why they couldn't have just had him beat Jeff. Obviously, they're continuing the feud, but, you know, at least Elias gets the win out of it, so whatever, it is what it is. Not much to talk about there. And then, of course, we go to the Money in the Bank contract match. Otis defending against The Miz. You know, another average match here, you know, that you get on TV. They were going some back and forth stuff at the very beginning. You know, Otis got the upper hand, then John Morrison got involved, which allowed the Miz to get the upper hand. Miz worked over Otis for a good portion of the match, so Otis got the upper hand, started having his comeback. Morrison would get involved once again, which would lead to him actually getting ejected. At this point, Otis looked like he was securing the win on the Miz until the referee got distracted. And then Tucker ended up hitting Otis with the briefcase. But the thing is, they try to play it off like Tucker nailed him in the head, but he ends up just whacking him in the arm with it. So it didn't come off good by any means. But Tucker turns on Otis, allowing the Miz to defeat Otis, become the new Mr. Money in the Bank, which I do not mind at all. Miz, to me, should have always been put back to the main event scene. His 2016 to 2018 run, there's no reason why he shouldn't have been WWE or Universal Champion at least once in that time period again. He definitely should have been World Champion. So hopefully this is a step towards that. I definitely think Miz should at least be put in that position once again. I definitely think, you know, it gives him motivation too to want to be that main event guy once again. So no complaints whatsoever about Miz winning the briefcase. Definitely thought it was the best decision here. Otis should never had it to begin with. So where Otis goes here, I don't know. And I honestly don't really care. No offense to him, but I'm just glad Miz is Mr. Money in the Bank once again. And yeah, considering how the main event went, I'm actually looking forward to hopefully seeing him cash in successfully. I mean, I've always looked forward to, I am looking forward to seeing him cash in regardless, whether it's successful or not. But this makes me want to see him win it even more, I should be saying. So yeah, Miz, once again, Mr. Money in the Bank. From there, I'm going to go to the Hell in a Cell match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley defending against Sasha Banks. Holy hell, what a match. These two went out there and beat the holy fuck out of each other, man. Right from the get-go, which I thought was a fantastic way to start the match. Sasha flings the chair out of Bayley's hand as the cage is lowering, so that, you know, Bayley couldn't run and get it. So I thought that was fantastic. The timing of it was good as well. But yeah, they beat the holy hell out of each other, whether it was chairs, kendo sticks, even on the floor. They were just laying their shit in. Bayley, at one point, it was pretty funny actually. She tried to set up like these two kendo sticks, tried to tape them together and put it across the cage in the apron, but it just was not working for some reason. So she kind of abandoned it, which that was kind of funny. Michael Cole even made fun of it. Made fun of her for it. So that was funny. But yeah, they were just doing brutal spots. Meteoros from Sasha, you know, into the cage. At one point, Bayley took a sunset flip into the cage, or sunset flip powerbomb. There we go. Let me talk. Into the cage. Tables were being introduced. These two were just going out there and having some great callbacks as well to the previous matches. Sasha was taking bumps like crazy for Bayley. Even took that DDT, or the front face lock, into the ground on the outside, which I thought was just, man, that I wouldn't take that to the ground. I'm just saying. So yeah, just absolute brutal match between two of them. Like I said, just great callbacks, and man, I thought it was fantastic. I loved the finish too as well. Obviously, a chair is introduced, the chair that Bayley used when she turned on Sasha, tried to use that, but Sasha was able to put the chair on her, exactly how she did the contract signing this on SmackDown. And then not only that, but then she recreated the Brooklyn spot where she was stomping on Bayley's hand when Bayley was reaching for the ropes. And that's actually what made Bayley submit. So she submits to that, and Sasha Banks is your brand new SmackDown Women's Champion. Hell of a battle, hell of a match. I know a lot of people are saying this match, you know, possibly tops the Brooklyn match. I don't know if I'd say it tops that, but this is definitely up there with that match. So incredible stuff. Like I said, they beat the holy hell out of each other, and they were innovative. They were going out there and putting on different spots and doing, you know, different things with the cell that we haven't really seen in other matches as well. So yeah, just beat the whole out of each other, being creative with their environment. You know, they just went out there and knocked out the park, if you ask me. So yeah, great match. Then next we go to a United States Championship match, because on the kickoff show, Mustafa Ali issued a challenge to anyone from the Hurt Business to take anyone on from Retribution. That ended up being SLAPJACK, so he's challenging Bobby Lashley for the US title. Nothing much of a match here. SLAPJACK got some offense in, but you just knew there was no chance of winning it. Bobby Lashley ended up winning with the Hurt Lock to retain the US Championship. So Lashley retains, and of course Retribution comes out afterwards, and Hurt Business come out to fight him off, and they end up brawling, and they, you know, end up, you know, just a brawl erupts. So was what it was. It wasn't necessary, but I guess it was, you know, a segment to fill some time in the show. And then we go to the main event, which was for the WWE Championship inside Hell in a Cell. Drew McIntyre defending against Randy Orton. Right from the get-go, Randy Orton, pulling his schemes that he's been doing all year. He was dressed as a cameraman, so he attacks Drew McIntyre from the get-go during his entrance, beating down McIntyre until McIntyre gets upper hand. McIntyre works over Orton. Orton's wrestling in pants for the first half of the match, which I thought was hilarious. Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure he wore those pants backwards, because I'm pretty sure the pockets look like they were backwards, but that just could be me overlooking things for absolutely no reason whatsoever, as if his pants were any significance to anything. But just a little side note that I was kind of bothering me for some reason. I don't know, OCD in me, I guess. But yeah, these two went out there and probably had their weakest match, honestly. I thought it was a good match, but it just, I don't know, it didn't reach the heights as I was expecting it. They were brawling right from the get-go. Orton was getting worked on by McIntyre. They were doing some callbacks and pretty much, some stuff they did in their previous matches. They go into the outside. The match spills out there. They go on top of the cell, where they fight for a good little while until they, start scouring down. McIntyre takes a fall off the side of the cell through the announce table. So at that point, McIntyre is selling like he's dying. He's spitting blood out. Back in the ring, Randy Orton's trying to set up the punt. But then they recreate the SummerSlam finish, or call back the SummerSlam finish where McIntyre counters the RKO, I should say, not the punt. Counters the RKO into a backslide, tries to get the win that way, but Orton kicks out of it. But then McIntyre hits a Claymore on Orton, but Orton flies out of the ring. McIntyre goes outside, throws Orton back in, goes for another Claymore, but Orton ducks it, gets out of the way. McIntyre gets back up. Orton hits an RKO out of nowhere on McIntyre, and 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton is the brand new WWE champion. I don't know how I feel about that. I think the finish was very flat as well. When he hit the RKO, it didn't seem like that was a finish, especially the way McIntyre took it. No offense to him, but he kind of took it like a Big Show RKO, where it was kind of like towards the side, not really directly down. So the RKO didn't really come off that well. But I guess that was enough for Randy Orton to become a 14-time world champion. I don't know. Randy Orton definitely should have won it either at Clash of Champions or SummerSlam, if you ask me. I don't know why they waited for Hell in a Cell to do it, but I don't know. I feel like at this point, the momentum Randy Orton had coming off that feud with Edge it has passed. I feel like he's definitely not as hot as he was, going into the summer. So I definitely think the timing of it was way off on their part, but I'm happy Orton's champion again. I don't mind it at all. I just feel like at this point, McIntyre definitely should have kept holding it. And I feel like, we're past that point. Like I said, with Randy Orton beating him, I feel like his momentum was gone and, he just wasn't as hot as he was. So don't mind it, but I don't know. I just feel like this wasn't really the match to do it. And like I said, the match wasn't their best one. And the finish was very flat as well. I just didn't feel like the finish. So everything about it just didn't feel like it was lining up right for this to be the time where McIntyre lost. But it is what it is. Can't change it, obviously. Like I said, I'm not against Orton as champion. I just feel like they should have done it, when he was still red hot. So it is what it is. We'll see where they're going forward. Obviously, they're kind of doing, it looks like they're going to do a triple threat with maybe Orton, The Fiend, and McIntyre in the future. So, yay, more Fiend in the title scene. Just what everyone wants to see, right? Yeah, no one wants to see The Fiend in the title scene again. Don't have him challenge Orton. That's the last thing we need to see, is another Randy Orton Bray Wyatt match. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, that closes Hell in a Cell. And overall, I thought Hell in a Cell itself was a good pay-per-view. It was solid. Obviously the Universal title match and the SmackDown Women's title match were two incredible matches. Those are definitely the only two matches on the show, honestly, in my opinion, worth checking out. Main event was fine. Everything else was just kind of average, pretty much what you would see on TV mainly. But yeah, Hell in a Cell, like I said, I still had fun with it. That was an enjoyable pay-per-view. It's only two matches worth checking out. It's just two Hell in a Cell matches, and that's it. Don't really waste your time on anything else. And the Hell in a Cell matches too got a lot of time. I think each Hell in a Cell got almost 30 minutes. So they were long matches, but they were definitely enjoyable for the most part. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. And of course, the next time, I'll see you guys, and thank you guys for watching the video.